Hi, welcome to D-ConneXion TV. I'm Donzale Powell with D-Connex LLC. Today, I'm super excited because we're going to have our first virtual episode. Okay, so we are out here streaming for you all. Hopefully, we will have an amazing show, and I'm so excited about our guests as well. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I let you know. Please subscribe to our YouTube. It's D-ConneXion TV. So go on YouTube, click the little button, subscribe. Let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about the real estate industry. And so I'm going to let our two guests go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Solomon Titus, co-founder of Royal Realty, LLC.
And I am Donzie Titus, broker owner of Royal Realty.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We appreciate you. Now, we're talking about real estate. That is always a hot topic, especially in Nashville, the surrounding areas. It's definitely a hot topic in this area. It's also a hot topic pretty much for the whole US. So if you can, just let me know a little bit more about yourselves. How did you get into real estate? Who thought this up? What was the dream and what your goals are?
Well, like I said before, my name is Donzie Titus, and I'm the broker owner of Royal Realty. I got into real estate because I'm me. I'm just a free-spirited person. Real estate is a deep passion of mine after being involved with different transactions. I realized that real estate was missing a huge piece, and it was compassion, empathy, and also sensitivity toward each client's need. So my husband and I took it upon ourselves to go and be the change that is needed into real estate.
Okay. So just real quick, just a quick follow-up to that. So what type of change, and I'm sure that we'll get into this more in depth, but what kind of change are you talking about?
So the change that I'm talking about is learning to give the need that each client has in the moment. Automatically, people assume that real estate just means helping a person buy a home or sell their home. And real estate is so much deeper than that. It's about building relationships, but also empathizing with that person in their present situation. And that may not mean helping them buy a home or sell their home. That may just mean building a relationship with them, being authentic with them, and welcoming them into your family outside of business.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you wanted to add?
Well, honestly, going back in history, me personally, when I bought my first home, I had a horrible interaction with my realtor. This was long before we were together, and I mean, it was just a memory that stuck with me. And then when my wife came up with, she had already been in the real estate game for a minute as an associate broker, and then she came up with the idea of, hey, babe, I can do the brokerage, and I can inspire others to have that compassion that you were missing on your transaction. I was all for it. I was like, dude, as your husband, I'm here to support you. So let's do it. And we have this business has really skyrocketed.
Awesome.
And we're just honored to be there.
I love that. And I think it's you talked a little bit about relationship and a little bit about your experience, and I can completely understand that because number one, typically you have people that are not very familiar with real estate, whether they're trying to buy a home, they might have questions. Some people, they're so nervous. This is their largest purchase that they'll ever make in life. And they just, all kinds of anxiety can come from that. You're like, okay, can I pay the mortgage? How much are they going to want? Do insurance, all of these things are going through their head. And if you don't have a good experience with that, or you're getting limited information or having, just really trying to get in touch with the person, like, hey, what's going on here? That makes, I think that tension come even more. So I can totally understand. Thank you for sharing about that.
Yes. Now, and the real estate, the real estate transactions, we tell all of our clients that the real estate market is a emotional roller coaster. When you're looking for a home, whether you're trying to sell a home, and we've been through that on the buyer and the selling side many a times. And so we empathize and sympathize with all of our clients on that aspect. And like I said, I had an experience a long time ago where I had a realtor that didn't know me from Tom or Adam. He couldn't tell me, say anything, positive or negative about me. And then after we got to the closing table, it was Puff the Magic Dragon. He was gone. So we take those personal experiences and take them to heart.
Yes, great. Now tell me a little bit about some of the experiences that you've had here currently, like I mentioned earlier, with the market, with what's going on in the real estate market in general. Do you have any information or things that you can share about kind of what is going on or what the future might look like?
So one thing that I really like all of my clients to focus on is real estate is real estate, regardless of the market. Real estate is predictable. It's real estate. It has its highs and its lows. And it's all about when you are servicing that client, making sure they have the wisdom that they need in whatever season real estate is in, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So if the client is prepared properly in any season of the real estate market, they'll be fine. Right now, real estate is having a little shift, but it's the norm for real estate, right? So when you just prepare your clients for any market, then your business in real estate will thrive in every market. So right now, the best advice that I could give to anyone as a buyer or a seller, just step back and pursue your why. Focus on your why. Why are you buying right now? Why are you selling right now? And if your why is strong enough, it's going to supersede the market.
Okay, I love that. So do you have like an ideal client? Is there kind of a niche that you've said, or where you say, hey, I want to make sure that I service people that may not typically be serviced, or make sure that they have the type of experience that maybe they wouldn't normally get?
The ideal client for me would just be anyone that is open and willing to receive and apply the information that me and my team are willing to give. I feel like in real estate, the market, as a realtor, we work for free. That's just you don't get paid until the deal closes. So for me, in order for me to invest my time in someone, it's very important that I have that person's undivided attention, and I have their desire to want to apply the information that I present to them. So to me, that's the ideal client, regardless if they're ready to purchase or sell right then. When I devote my time to you and give you what you need to get you where you need to be, I just ask that you apply it and have that desire and be serious about it. So that's the ideal client for me.
Yes, that makes sense. I can completely see where you might have some clients that they truly want home ownership, but they either are or don't feel like they are ready. But like you said, it's still a part of kind of those building blocks, that foundation, the knowledge, the time, if they're willing to take action on some of the things that they might need to start working on, or maybe not even be aware of, that could help them shorten that time frame. I'm sure they're thankful. And then by the time they are ready, of course, then that's when you kind of are able to roll in and make things actually happen. But I think sometimes that groundwork and being able to invest your time for that return that might come a little bit later. So have you had experiences with that, or are most people that come to you kind of already pretty much ready to go?
My experiences with that, I've noticed that some of the majority of my clients that come to me are not ready to go. They're just inquisitive. They just want to know what to do and how to do it to get themselves on the right path. And I don't, like I said before, I don't mind devoting time to that. The clients that I do have that are ready to go, in all actuality, they're not ready to go because they feel like they know it all, and they feel like they have everything that they need. And then once they take the time to get the information that they need to pursue, they realize, holy crap, I don't have everything I need, but Donzie, give me what I need and I'm ready to go. The most favorite experience that I've had with the clients is when you have those that they come to you and they're like, I know I'm not ready, but what do I need to do? And in my vetting process with my clients, I ask them, quite a few questions. And in the vetting process, I've already determined and I've shown them how they are ready. And they are like, holy crap, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, did you know about this? Do you know you can use these assets to get you in the home as a first-time home buyer? So a lot of people have this fallacy in their head of, I have to have so much money to get into a house. And that's not true. It's all about teaching the people what angle to take and learn and teaching them how to maximize what they do have to get what they want. So those are my favorite transactions, and they come to you and they're like, I know I'm not ready, but, and then like 30 days later, we're at the closing table. They're like, oh my gosh. So I love those transactions.
Yes. I'm sure that's completely life-changing.
Yes.
Now, how do you feel about, I'm sure some clients might feel like they might be intimidated just because they might feel like, oh my goodness, this person has to be all up, quote unquote, in my business. They're gonna know my finances. They know pretty much. You got to lay it all out there.
Right. Right.
Process, right.
Exactly.
And that can be a little scary. And there's different, I think, industries to where this would also apply. So like with your banker, or if you have, there's just certain times where you have to be vulnerable and be willing to share. And I'm really big on, not only are you sharing, but because you're looking for someone that has the expertise, like you said, you kind of might end up with some traction that you didn't even think was possible, just because you don't do this all day, every day, right?
Right.
A lot of people know I also do surety bonding, and we find that I'm very upfront about, I would rather you tell me, hey, we've got this going on, we've got that going on.
Right.
That good, but here are the issues, and then let me decide, hey, let me see if there's a way that we can work around that, or a way that you can start mitigating that risk. That way, within 6 months, you're able, so how has that kind of impacted you, or how do you feel like clients' relationships with you have happened in that nervous moment of giving up info?
Well, the most important part with me is when I'm talking to any client, I immediately try to find an avenue in which I can directly relate to them, right? So whatever it is that may be, and what you'll find out in business, we all have ways that we really are connected to people. Situations you've been through that they've been through, a certain season of life that they may be in right now that you're currently in. So once you're able to find that quote unquote sweet spot and empathize with them, at that point, the level of trust starts to change. At that point, they will be more willing to trust you, with the most vulnerable area of their life, their finances or whatever it is it may be. So that's usually how I approach my clients with those type of situations. And usually when I take that approach, it's effortless, because I am being me, just welcoming them into another area of my life that they weren't already exposed to. And then the transaction flows, and then they trust you. So then they refer other people to you because they trust you and you can relate to them.
Right.
And one other thing to touch along with that is that one thing that sets Royal Realty apart is that it is not just a business transaction. When you bring Royal Realty on to assist you in your real estate transaction, you are gaining a family. And that's one of the things that we really emphasize, is that we have a very personal relationship with all of our clients. And it's to the point where we know their family, they know our family, they know our stories, our turmoils, everything. And we really build that relationship with all of our clients to earn that trust, because trust is earned. And I think we do a great job with that, which allows people to open up. a little bit more. And then we've also evolved our business model to where we've got a network of a lot of various lenders, just a lot of other institutions, and I would say even family, should I say, to where we have tools in place to help just about anybody. If you don't have the account for a large down deposit, or you've had trouble credit history, whatever, we do a good job of building that relationship to find out what it is you need in that season and bring those things forward.
Okay. Now, are you all doing this by yourselves? Do you have a team? Like, what does this look like on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, we have a team.
Okay.
It's 4 agents total. Myself, which is the broker owner, and I do still operate as a realtor, which is hard for me to kind of detach from that. So I'm very involved. I'm still out there in the field. And then we have 3 other agents, Haley Hamilton, Shirley Smith, and Turner Rasco, and we're actually growing as we speak. I don't want to drop those names just yet because they're in the process. But yes, we are growing as we speak, and we're so grateful. We're humbled. And that in itself lets us know that we're on the right path, just trusting the Lord in every aspect, and he's just leading the way. So yes, we have a team.
Amazing.
And Dazi can attest to this. Like, our team is almost like Voltron. We have a lot of different personalities, and everybody fits together as a team perfectly. Like, they come together. Haley is bubbly and just free spirited, and she's just a wonderful person. And Shirley is a go getter, yes. And she is on it. And Turner, he has an investment mindset. So we have tools that can go with anyone.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I want to circle back around a little bit to the both of you. So can you give me a little bit more background information? Like, where are you all from? If I guess and work wise, even before you got into real estate, just give me a little quick summary of what types of things you did before making that transition.
Okay. I guess you want me to start first?
Go for it.
Okay. I'll start
Ladies first.
Ladies. So background, I am from New Bern, North Carolina.
Okay.
That's my hometown. That is where I'm from. Wife, mother, and a dog mom. I'm still working on that. Pray for me, please. We have 4 beautiful children. Sincere, Abby, Mason, and Bentley, and Eden is the dog. I moved from North Carolina and I got into healthcare. I was in nuclear medicine for about 13 years, mammography, radiology. I also received a bachelor's in healthcare administration. And while doing all of that full time, I realized that my heart was really at home. My heart was at home to be with my children and to nurture my family.
Here come the tears.
I know. I'm a big water baby. Anyway, my heart was at home, so I decided to pursue real estate to give me the opportunity to be who I was called to be, that wonderful wife, that wonderful mother, and that wonderful entrepreneur that needed to be out in the world to show love and compassion in every area possible. So that's me, and that's what I've done. And now I'm the broker owner of Royal Realty.
And then for myself, I'm also from North Carolina, Rocky Mount. I graduated undergrad at North Carolina State University. Go Pack! I was an Air Force officer. I was an officer in the Air Force prior to moving to Tennessee. Once I separated from the Air Force, I did a couple of things in the logistics management arena. And then I got into healthcare. I was a respiratory therapist for about 10 years. Mm-hmm. And then I decided to go back to school again. And that was mainly because my children had not seen, because both of our scholastic achievements were prior to the children. So I was like, they need to see us graduate. They need to see us go across that stage. So I decided to go back to school again. And now I'm an alumni of Vanderbilt University, and I went through the cardiac perfusion program, and I'm a cardiac perfusionist now.
Awesome. Wow. Now, as far as your team and your office, are you all centrally located? Like, or do you have more than one office? What does that look like?
Right now, currently, the main hub, the main office is in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. But we do service Greater Nashville. We do service the Middle Tennessee area as well. So we have a lot of relationships with different teams outside of the Middle Tennessee area. So honestly, I serve people all over Tennessee, Carthage, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, places in Tennessee I haven't even heard of, but I'm still learning. But so yeah, we service all of Tennessee.
I'm sure. So we talked about the market, and of course, a lot of people are looking right now, and many places are being overbid. Like, what are the trends that are going on right now? Can you kind of tell me about that?
So the trends that are going on currently are, believe it or not, right now, the market is slowing down quite a bit. It's not as hot as it was 2 years ago. So right now it's really at an advantage for the buyers. I really don't like to say it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. In reality, if your buyers are not buying homes, you don't have a market. So I don't really like to call it a seller's market or a buyer's market, but it is more favorable from a buyer's perspective right now. Even though the interest rates are a little bit higher, it does allow the buyers to negotiate stronger when they're presenting their offers, because there's not as much competition out right now in the home search because of the interest rates. So it does give buyers more negotiation power right now in the real estate market.
Now, I'd like to add as well, the Nashville, Middle Tennessee market is, I know from 3 years ago, we all experienced a different market, and things, like she said, things have slowed down some, but it's still a hot market. If you don't know, Nashville is one of the top 10 to top 5 vacation destinations in the world, depending on what list you're looking at. So there's still an influx of people coming in, especially with the transition in the world due to COVID. A lot of people are doing remote. So the Nashville market is still, in our opinion, a great place to be marketing for a home, whether on the buying or the selling side. Because in comparison to the national, Nashville is still up there.
Okay. Now, I thought a little up to date on some of the areas regarding real estate that are becoming, I guess, more populated as Nashville grows, right? So what are your thoughts on, or do you have any locations that you feel like, hey, I've visited here, maybe you've shown a client a home there. You mentioned some of the places that are kind of away from Nashville that you think this might be some okay living. It might not be a lot of maybe stores, restaurants, things like that, but still you're able to get what you need. Of course, I'm very familiar with, I know as Nashville started growing early on, Clarksville was one of the areas that people gravitated to get housing that was a little bit better price. You get a little more house for whatever it was that you were paying. Murfreesboro, I know, is starting to boom a little bit now. Yes. Places like McMinnville, Tullahoma, some of those. Tell me what your experience has been, or are there some areas that you're like, you kind of prefer over others?
Well, Solomon and I, we're, from a personal perspective, we're really not the norm when it comes to real estate. We desire land. You know, we're okay with getting a home that has some strong bones and structure and needing a little work. but we see long-term value in real estate. So with Solomon and I, even if the price is a little elevated based on the market, we immediately go to the long-term vision for that property. So with that in mind, if I could give any advice about what area to kind of go to get the best bang for your buck in the surrounding areas, I would personally point to Springfield. Springfield is overlooked, but it's a hidden gem. In my opinion, there's not a lot out there, but it is growing. And you can definitely get a lot more for your money in the Springfield area, and it's not far from Nashville at all. Your commute is not too bad, but yes, there's traffic. But Springfield would be my area of interest if I were to send a client in a certain direction. Also, I would just tell the client, what are your needs right now? If you're okay with the commute, then I would definitely push them to the more rural areas that are not as developed right now, but are surrounded by development potential, like the areas that still have a lot of land surrounding them, where the opportunity for development will eventually trickle into that area. So I would kind of steer them into that area. Portland is also like another hidden gem. It's not too far from Nashville, on the outskirts of Gallatin. So those would be like my top two, because they're not too far, and you still have equity potential. So those would be my top two.
Good. Now, I know that you have a big vision for, I'm not sure if it's what you want to do, your overarching purpose. And I think you touched on a little bit, but just tell me, just kind of explain to the people, like, what is your vision? Where do you see this going? Where do you see you going?
So our vision, of course, is to just be free. I mean, live freely, trust the vision day to day. Where I see this going is I really feel like I know that Royal Realty is going to open up so many different avenues for realtors, clients, and people in general, not just from a real estate perspective, but just from a human being perspective. We really we apply the business principles, but we're grounded on biblical principles. And we make sure that when we pursue any business transaction or pursue any relationship, it has a solid foundation, first on the biblical principles, and second, us, who we are. We make sure we remain true to ourselves so that we can be true to the business and true to the client. So I see this exploding. I see this going way beyond Tennessee. We love you, Tennessee, but we plan to expand. So I see big for this. I really see it being real estate redefined. It really is real estate redefined, taking real estate to a totally different level.
Okay. And real quick, did you have
I'm sorry?
I was just trying to see if we had any thoughts on it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no. The sky's the limit. Well, I'm a Carolina fan, so everybody knows Michael Jordan's quote, "The ceiling is the limit." No, we're blessed to be where we are. And then we just want to grow, bring on other realtors to help them grow in their business, their development. Continue to grow and bring our network to expand the number of tools that we have to serve our clients, and just continue to bring on people into our family.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you all coming on the show today. So thank you so much for joining D-ConneXion TV, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.